our last share tonight is Bob Sievewright, our ER Shred ambassador. Bob Sievewright, are you out there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
How you doing, handsome?
Yeah, right. Doing all right.
Well, good.
I'm excited because I'm finally doing an 11-day ER shred. I had a couple things happen where it kept getting pushed out. So I feel good. Day one is awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what would you, how do you feel about the things that were shared? I love, with your, I ought to just share with everybody. Bob was very involved and, remains very involved. Bob was part of, I consulted with Bob on everything as we formed ER Shred. He offered so many powerful insights and contributions to ER Shred. We love him dearly. We love it. He and his wife, they're amazing people. He's impacted the lives of countless. And I remember when Bob did originally come alive, it was the coolest thing because he held out for a long time and he was so worried about doing this for, he knew this guy reads his stuff. I don't know anybody that's more well-read. And it took a lot of convincing. And he finally gave this a chance. And then he had this moment where he literally, like we talk about, come alive. Like there's a reason we say it. And he had this moment when he came alive. And I remember, I think he was in his front or his backyard. And he literally came to tears. He's just shaking his head. I can't believe how good I feel. Do you remember that?
No, I still like yesterday. Part of that is my wife pushing me to do a Facebook Live and going out and, again, and I think a lot of people wonder, especially for people who've been with isogenics or been doing this for a very long period of time. I'm just so moved by these testimonials. This is about life, and life is a journey, and it doesn't always deal you the cards that you think you're going to get. And in my situation, and I know, Sean, we've been talking a long time, I did the macro diet, someone who had a lot of success with a lot of isogenics, finalists. And I thought, I'm going to do this thing. And it did the opposite for me. So the awareness, the understanding that there isn't one simple solution other than ER Shred allows you to get to baseline and then start that journey of awareness, looking inwards, finding out what really works. And to be honest, Sean, I was terrified of doing all meat because, like so many, I listened to my doctors and other doctors, and you can't do this, and you've got this disease in your family. And after blowing up on that macro diet, and I pushed up to like 230, I felt like hell, got myself back to 210, 215-ish, where I had been at for like 17 years, right? Mm-hmm. You're telling me about the ER Shred, and I honestly, I was just scared. So it took me a little time. I think it was October 20th. So I was about 20 days late, but I finally said yes. And it wasn't day 5, but it was like day 7 or day 8. But it was emotional. And it was that level of understanding, like, my God, I never understood you could feel as good as I'm feeling right now. So whatever your bar is that you've set on yourself, that's self-inflicted. And it doesn't mean that's as high as you can go. And that's on anything in life. And I look at the lessons from Jesse to Susan and talking about really getting in tune with your body and what you have said. And then hearing David talk about a biohack, because I'm trying to figure out, how do we explain this thing? This is the single best biohack in the world. And I know we're not going to be fans of the people in Davos, Switzerland, who want everyone to eat insect protein and whatever. For those that are following the World Economic Forum, it's amazing what we've discovered, because I think people think we're insane when we talk about the red meat and the butter and so on. But look at this group, 2.5 years, almost, getting close to 2.5 years. Look at how healthy people are. And I haven't been on a Zoom in a while, but I'm looking at all these old friends and faces. And I'm like, going, damn, they look younger than they did the last time I saw them. And it just seems to be, it's an ongoing evolution. I mean, we're definitely Benjamin Buttoning for those that watch that movie. I mean, we're going, which is fun. But I think for me, because I'm competitive, but I'm always trying to strive for something. And now this was an important lesson for me. I was excited I just hammered a great workout. I was busting with energy. I go upstairs, take my shirt off, and I go, damn, I'm looking pretty good. I think I got to do a Facebook Live. So I jump in the shower. I run downstairs. I'm ready to do my Facebook Live. I didn't run downstairs yet. I'm on my phone, literally doing the Facebook Live title, trying to get it in. And I started racing down the wooden steps. I don't have any carpeting or anything like that. And I literally slipped, and I'm lucky I didn't kill myself. Oh, yeah. But I landed on my elbow. I busted it wide open, and I spent, unfortunately, the night in the ER because everybody was coming down with crud or whatever, right? And that was that. I didn't work out from Thanksgiving until just recently in January.
This last Thanksgiving?
Yeah. I was so fired up because I literally, man, I'm telling you, my abs were there. I'm like,
no, I've noticed.
But the thing is, though, you tend to put, I don't know, for me, I can't do a Facebook Live until, I don't want to go backwards. I want to show constant improvement, et cetera. And that's just not reality. So for me, it was a Facebook Live that Susan did, but talking about forgiveness. And I was listening to Jesse and some of the challenges that you run into. And sometimes life doesn't give you a fair deal sometimes. And you're like, okay, this was unexpected, but it was like a timeout. Okay, it happened for a reason, and maybe my body needed a rest from working out. I have no idea. But what I like about what ER Shred has done for me is that rather than getting really angry and frustrated, for the first time, I was able to take it kind of in stride and said, okay, this is what it is. And we'll get through this. So anyway, the good news is I'm back. My wife did get COVID. I was going to start cleansing immediately, but because she came down with that, I thought, well, maybe I'd hold off on the cleanse. But the reality is that if we stick to it and do the best that we can, it's extraordinary what's possible with the human body.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, I just know that I'm healthier. My immune system's better. I am stronger at 61 than I was at 42 when I started this program way back when. And it kind of sounds crazy to say that, but 61, man, I'm an old man for most, but I can do more pull-ups now than I did when I was 42. And the whole thing is, it isn't necessarily the competition for me. It's the opportunity or the understanding that I'm going to be here tomorrow for my daughter, my family, and so on. And I'm going to be able to live life to my fullest, whatever that might be. And I think that's what you've done with ER Shred. It's just extraordinary that you've given a safe environment for so many people to come together and discover themselves.
We have done that. Thank you. Well, we all have done that.
But think about it. Every other program out there is do this, don't do that. And you got to do it just like this. And that's just not sustainable. That's just not reality. And when I look at what we have done with this community, it's extraordinary. And I just wish I could do a better job at getting this word out. Like, you got to check this thing out. And we're getting there. We're not getting there as fast as I'd like to see, but I think this year with corporate, with what you've done, having Sharon coming on, having Dr. Paul. This is huge, guys. We're finally connecting with the right powers, and I think it's only going to elevate the group.
I love that, Bob. Bob and I have become really close friends. And that's one of the cool things that Jessica pointed out about the community is you have these relationships that it's so much more meaningful and goes way beyond just a nutrition protocol or, even a financial opportunity or what have you. The relationships, they really do matter. And that's been an exciting part of this journey for me. So, Bob, I want to acknowledge you. I always want to acknowledge you for the impact that you've had on me personally. You've given me a lot of great life counsel. You've been a tremendous friend and confidant. I really love you for that. I also wanted to ask you one more quick question, and that is, how in the hell are you still excited about this over 2 years later?
Well, I tell you what, doing a cleanse when you haven't done one since October, for example, because Sean brought that question up to me. So often really how often do you cleanse? I said, about 2 days every 6 weeks or so, but definitely I do an 11-day every quarter, more or less. That seems to be the average over the last 19 years now. And the interesting thing is, for me, it's okay, we're going to do the 11-day air shred. I'm going to button up. We're going to get really targeted. And that first day for me, that first day of cleanse, it's like day 2 now. I don't know how to explain it, but it used to be day 1 was a little challenging. And if you're brand new to this group, it's going to be tough. It's tough before it gets better. But if you've been doing it for a while, day 1's like a day 2. And day 2 is just out of this world. You feel so darn good. So yes, having the feeling I have right now, and you capture that, I used to say magic in the bottle. When you capture magic in the bottle, like lightning in the bottle, you never want to let it go. And that's why you can be this excited. And hell, I mean, it was fun. I had to go do another PCR test and go to the doctor, and Allison's, I'm exposed and my daughter's coming and you got to make sure you don't have it. And I'm like, okay, I'll go do the routine. And the most crazy thing happened. The nurse that was in there kept asking me 1,000 questions. She said, "You're not on any kind of medication?" I'm going, "No." And she goes, "You're not on blood pressure medication?" I go, "No." I go, "Why are you asking?" And she said, "I haven't seen anything like this. You're 61 years old and your numbers are like," and that's the validation. That's when you come in, you're doing something right. And of course, my test was negative, which was good. And just had to smile and say, "Hey, it's our program."
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's pure positivity. Bob, you look very happy. When you're on, and I can tell you're on right now. And yeah, I want to feel optimal all the time. Why not? I'm going to give my best shot. I'm going to give my fighting chance to be my optimal at all times. I think it's a worthy proposition.
It can happen, but also, as Susan would say, when it doesn't happen and life gets in the way, forgive yourself in one and give yourself some grace. Because that's the journey. And it's not always easy, but we always have the ability to come back. And coming home and seeing your faces, all you guys on here, I'm like going, damn, I've missed these Zooms. It's just, I see it on Facebook, but I'm thinking, I have to get on here more often to just see everyone's face. I missed you all in New Year's kickoff, but hopefully celebration. So
yeah, for sure in Orlando. All right, Bob, we love you. Thank you so much. We need to